Hey everybody, it's Jen. Welcome back to the Hangout. So I wanted to talk a little bit about goals. Wanted to share the goals that I've set for 2022. I just wanted to share these, just perhaps if you're thinking about your own goals for this year, maybe some of these things might help you out. So I jumped on the bandwagon of everybody else this year and chose a word of the year. Um, and I chose the word consistent. And the reason I chose this word is because it seems like that no matter what new thing I start, I don't stick with it, and I don't stay consistent with it. I might do it, full on balls to the wall for a few months and then totally abandon it and maybe come back to it. Sometimes not come back to it at all. Um, Planning for one. I got my first happy planner back in June of this year and have kind of been full throttle ever since. I don't particularly see myself slowing down in the use of the planners. I definitely see myself slowing down and purchasing planning stuff, and that'll be a totally separate video. So, um, but I want to be consistent overall. Consistent, I looked up the definition, says unchanging in nature, standard, or effect over time. So I want to be able to be steady and do things on a steady way, not haphazard, not a bunch here and none there, feast or famine. I'd like to be consistent with things. I know one of the things that's going to help with me being consistent is developing routines. If you um, know who Elena Fingal is, she is the Organized Money. She has a fantastic YouTube channel. I probably talk about her every time I make a video because she's very influential on me. Um, so go to her channel. She has tons of videos on productivity and goal setting, that sort of thing, that I think you would find very useful. So anyway, this is what I chose for my word of the year: to be consistent. Developing routines, I think, is going to help me get the consistency in my life. And I put the quote down here from Oprah Winfrey: I know for sure that what we dwell on is who we become. I believe this wholeheartedly because I believe, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. That's the Bible. I believe that, thoughts become things. I believe a lot in the universal law of attraction. And even if you don't believe in it, it still exists. So, um, anyway, on to this. So, I touched on this a little bit when I was doing my planner uh, lineup before. So, Kenya, um, and I am so sorry. I totally forgot her channel, but I think she's pretty popular, so people would know her. She did a 22 things for 2022 spread, and so I thought this was a grand idea, and I wanted to do one as well. So I'll do half a page at a time here. So the things that I want to do, the 22 things I want to do in 2022, I started over here. I want to do a daily stretching routine. So I'm in my mid 50s, and the older we get, the less elastic we are, less flexible, I guess is the word I should say. So, developing a routine, a daily stretching routine, is going to help keep me flexible and mobile enough. I have a very physical job as a medical assistant, where I'm on my feet quite a bit. And I know that if I don't take good care of my body, that it's going to really affect, um, my job performance. So taking care of my body in that way is one thing I want to do. Um, Second thing I put on here, and these are in no particular order, by the way. The second thing I put on here is I want to redo my office area. The more I've gotten into my planning hobby, the more stuff I've accumulated and the less space I have to put it in. So, um, don't know when this is going to happen, but it's going to happen at some point. Um, the third area that I put down is memory keeping. So last year I did memory keeping on a kind of a daily basis or a semi-daily basis. I think I'm going to stick more to maybe a weekly routine. I did buy on clearance a big Happy Planner memory keeping book specifically for memory keeping. Um, I'm not 100% sure I'm going to use it this year. I might continue the trend that I was doing and use like a dashboard layout. And what I had before is I had this side of the page be photos with some captions, and then this side be kind of a daily diary where I wrote down what happened. And I actually, when I was going through my 2021 flip through, I actually was looking at that. This is really nice. So I might do that at least for a while anyway. We'll see how it goes. Fortunately, the big memory planner that I bought is undated, so I don't have to use it right now if I don't want to. So that is an option there. But I did like even just writing a highlight of the day. It doesn't even have to be anything major, but just reading over what I wrote brought back, oh yeah, I remember that happening that day and that sort of thing. I liked doing it that way, so I think I'll go back to doing that. Sorry about that. I was getting caught. Okay. Number 4, and this is a big one. Walk 22 minutes, 5 days a week. Um, and I know that I don't have to do all 22 minutes at once. Sometimes finding that big of a chunk of time to do this might not always work out for me. Sometimes it will. I can walk a mile in about 22 minutes. So if I feel like I have the time to do it in a big chunk, then I will. My other alternative plan is to split it up into two 11-minute sessions. And I was thinking today that I could probably do that like 11 minutes before I clock in at work, and then 11 minutes on my lunch break or something like that. Just depending on what else I have going on. But this one I'd like to be consistent on. A minimum of 5 days a week. Maybe doing 7 days a week would be awesome. I'm going to track it on a habit tracker in this catch-all planner. So hopefully I'd be able to get more towards 7 days, but 5 days is a good acceptable goal as well. Number 5 is bi-monthly calls to family members. So I don't talk to my siblings as much as I should, and I just think that it's important, especially since our parents are gone now, with the exception of our stepmother, that it's important for us to stay in touch with each other. So I want to actually plan this in there. Probably do it for like a Saturday or a Sunday when I have enough time to talk. I know with my sister, I could definitely talk an hour's worth with no problem. My brothers, maybe not so much. They're not as talkative as we are, but that's something I would like to do. I think that's important. Number 6 is spend time creating, drawing, coloring, basically doing creative things. You can use it as a form of meditation if you want. You can put on music or put on a YouTube video and listen while you're doing the creative thing. It's just a good way to unwind. I think one of the best things that's come out in the last few years is coloring books designed for adults. It really seems to be a good way for adults, especially if they've got like a high stress job. Or being in healthcare, mine's pretty stressful, and with COVID ramping back up again, it's going to get worse. So taking 15-20 minutes just to sit and color in a mandala, or do some doodling, something like that, any of that kind of stuff, I think is really good for your psyche. Number 7, decrease social media scrolling. So I've got bad habits of, like, the very first thing I do when I wake up is I go to the little girl's room, and sometimes, like probably just about everybody watching this, I have my phone with me, and I might scroll while I'm sitting there. Um, I'd like to try to change that habit a little bit, mainly because um, I don't think it's necessary to spend as much time on social media as I do. And I spend a lot of time just kind of mindlessly scrolling. Um, I do love social media. I like it because I can keep up with friends and family, and hear about important news events and that sort of thing. I think there's definitely a place for it, but if it consumes too much of my time, then I think I need to look at that and examine that. And that's probably an area of my life I'm going to examine a little closer, and maybe put some actual boundaries on it. I know one boundary that I want to make is to be lights out at 10 p.m. No phone in my hand at all, because I kind of tell with my Fitbit, I only get maybe 5.5 or 6 hours of sleep. It's because a lot of time it's because I'm still awake scrolling, and I eventually fall asleep like 11ish or whatever, but then I get up at 5, and it just doesn't, it's not working. So I want to try um, to attempt to get more sleep. And that's one way to do it, is that when 10 o'clock comes, that the phone, goes on the bedside, and that's it. I don't look at it again till the next day. So that's something there. Number 8 is to write a will. So my husband's in his early 60s, and I'm getting on the back side of 50 there. And so we have not done this yet. We've discussed this off and on for a bit, because we know that we've seen so many of our friends pass away suddenly, that not having a will would really be a messy situation. My best friend, one of my best friends, passed away back in 2019, and had he not made his will, naming me the executor of the estate and all, and putting me on his bank accounts and that sort of thing, it would have been a mess, a big mess. So I'm very thankful that we did that. So that's something I definitely want to get accomplished this year, in the first quarter of the year for sure, just to get it done. Number 9 is do a weekly date with Tim, who's my husband. So we have opposite work schedules. He works Tuesday through Saturday, a job where he works from noon to 9. I work a Monday through Friday. I work from like 6:30 in the morning till 4:30 in the afternoon typically. And then so by the time he's home, there might be 20 or 30 minutes where we can debrief a little bit, but not really get to spend any time together. The only time that we really have time together is on Saturday night when he gets home, and then Sunday, the whole Sunday the next day. Sunday's really the only day that we can truly spend quality time together. So this year I'd like to make purposeful Sunday dates with him so that we could do some things. Excuse me. Okay, that's better. So anyway, there's that'll be something to develop. Number 10, more time outside. I live in Florida, so you'd think I'd spend a lot more time outside. Truth is, I don't. Part of it is because of my work schedule. The other part of it is just, I just don't. I don't make it a conscious effort. But I love the outdoors, especially this time of year in Florida. It's absolutely perfect weather. It's 70s. Most of the time this is why some people move down here, is because of the weather. So I just need to take more time to be outside. And obviously I could combine number 10 with number 4. I could kill two birds with one stone, so to speak, if I did that. So anyway, that's what I like to do. Number 11, finish my front flower beds, could also contribute to number 10. So that's going to be in the making. So that's 11 right there. So 12, declutter one closet a month. So I've got enough closets in my house that need this done. The bedroom closet, the guest bedroom closet, the linen closet, the pantries in the kitchen, all of those spaces need cleaning and decluttering I think they should be done like on a quarterly basis. Will I be that organized and do that? I don't know. We'll see. But I'd like to try that. Number 13 will help all of the other things I do. Develop morning and evening routines. This is something else I've learned from Elena on the Organized Money is developing routines helps to meet the other goals that you have. So I'm working on those. I might do a plan with me on morning and evening routines at some point. Maybe that's a good thing to do. So that's this number 13 is probably going to be the first thing that I do, because I believe if I can get this established, I can get a lot of the other things accomplished. Okay, number 14, develop a value statement. This is something that I did a leadership course maybe a year ago, and the presenter said that she recommended that everybody develop their own value statement. And I do need to research this a little bit more to figure out exactly how to go about doing that, because she wasn't very, she didn't really get a chance to explain it. So I need to do some research on my own to figure this out. But I do think that this is important to know. Number 15, do an act of self-care daily. So I think with this one, I'm probably going to have to make a list of potential self-care things to do. And not just beauty routines necessarily, but other ways that I can show myself self-care. So this one is under development, more to come. Number 16, read 2 books a month. So last year I was trying to do a book a week, and I started out strong, and I was not consistent, and ended up burning out pretty quick. And so I think I maybe read 12 books for the whole year, which, in the grand scheme of things, that's not bad. But I really want to try to do 2 books a month. Now, that being said, I am doing a couple of college courses this semester that is probably going to have me reading all kinds of stuff. So this one might be a little more challenging, but I'm going to try to do 2 non-class books a month. Unless it's a book I really like that the class is making me do, and then, hey, I can count it both ways. You just never know. Okay, but that one I look forward to. Number 17, practice lettering weekly. So I can kind of combine the lettering with spending time creating, drawing, and coloring. So Cindy Gunter-Baldo, who's like one of my favorite YouTube content creators, made this awesome little book called Cute Hand Lettering for Journals, Planners, and More. I got this on Amazon. If you look up her channel, she's got a link to this book. But it's got all kinds of lessons on how to do lettering in your journals and your planners and such. And so I love to watch her do her plan with me, because she can do this naturally. Being an artist, people like me probably need a little extra instruction, which this book is perfect for. So I'm definitely looking forward to starting this. This could be part of my self-care, I would imagine. So anyway, so good book. Hopefully we'll be able to get this started in the new year, to do some practicing for that. Number 18, fitness studio workouts twice a week. So there is a new fitness studio that opened up in my area. The business model for it is really unique. The facility is a 24-hour facility. The way it works is that you only pay for the time that you use it. So if I wanted to say do a 45-minute workout on Tuesday at 6 o'clock, I go to the facility's online scheduling program and I put in that that's the time I want to go in. And then once you've registered once and you sign all the waivers and such, basically it just slides you into the schedule and you pay for it online. It's so super simple. This facility also, the trainer there that owns it does um, uh, fitness classes like a group session. He does like a circuit class with only like 4 or 5 people. So with COVID ramping up, I feel a lot safer in that way because it's a smaller group. And if I book the time for myself, like a 45-minute time, I can bring in anybody I want to come with me without paying extra for them. It's really a good setup. And plus the fact that, it's very sanitary. There's plenty of cleaning things in the gym that once I'm done with my session, I just clean all the equipment that I was on and leave it, for the next person to come in. So, but my goal is to go in there twice a week. I also have some things here at home that if I wanted to stay home and do workout routines, I can do it. So there's really no excuse for me to not get some sort of physical activity every day. I've got the means to do it. I just need to do it. Number 19 is a financial goal. I want to save $2,000 this year on top of the savings I already have. So this is a very doable goal. In fact, I may even revise it depending on how things are going after the first quarter to see how it is. It all depends on income, as you know. I'm basing this on just my base income without any overtime. But the way things have been going, overtime is going to be available at least for a while. So I'm taking advantage of it as long as I can before it goes away. So anyway, that's one financial goal. I have some other ones that might be in a separate video at some point, but that's one. Number 20 was kinds of goes along with decreasing the social media scrolling. Lights out at 10 o'clock at night. I'm known to be one of these people that once I'm in bed, I sit there and I'll scroll on my phone until I fall asleep with the phone in my hand, and my husband has to take the phone out of my hand and put it on the bedside. I want to try to be a little more responsible this time and do it myself. Know that when 10 o'clock hits that I'm done on the phone for the night and just go to bed. So I want to try to make, especially when I start going back to work, after this Christmas break, I want to definitely try that. Number 21 is to play piano every week. So I play piano. I write original music. I haven't written anything in quite a while. Life has gotten in the way. But even if I don't create something of my own, I always like to, play other people's stuff. So I'll, go online and research the chords for a song that I like, and I'll play that. Some things I can play by ear, some things I need a chord chart to help with, that kind of thing. But music is probably one of the best self-care things I can do for myself. As long as I don't get too perfectionistic at the way I play piano, because I'm not a great piano player. I do well enough for myself, I satisfy myself, but as far as like being a good piano player, I'm not. That, which is fine. It's really more for me anyway. So that's something I'd like to get back to doing. So I'm finding that with a lot of these things, it's going to be up to me, scheduling things. So I just need to work on scheduling and getting things in a way, which having a planner, that's exactly what it's for. And finally, number 22 is to meditate daily. I kind of already do this to a certain degree, but my length of my meditations might be on the short side. Sometimes it's not like a formal meditation. But I'd like to do some more formal things. Like um, in the Christian world, they call it doing daily devotions. So, or having a devotional reading or whatever, and it's usually based on a Bible verse or something like that. Um, I don't mind doing those. I would do those. I have several books that I could lean in that direction with. I also have one daily devotional that I'd like. It's daily inspirational readings, um, small bites, daily inspirations for weight loss surgery patients. I had a gastric bypass almost 4 years ago, and I've had a little bit of weight regain. So I think reading something like this that's geared for a patient like me would definitely help, because it's more than just, the physical parts of being a bariatric surgery patient. It is a lot of mental things, things about letting go of procrastination, making peace with your limits, um, love your new face, embrace your Sharpay look. As weight loss surgery patients lose weight, they get a little more wrinkly, and for some people, it's a hard thing to deal with. Fortunately for me, I've been able to stay filled out, so I haven't had to worry too much about that. But anyway, this is a good book. I was doing it daily for a good while, and I did a bullet journal with my writings on here. So I want to get back to that, to doing that on a daily basis. So I just mainly have to make that part of one of my routines, either a morning routine or an evening routine, depending. Truth be told, it's probably going to be an evening routine, because my morning routines are going to consist of waking up enough to get in the shower and get cleaned up and dressed and to go to work. And so I may not be able to do much else for that. So, but anyway, my spiritual life, though, is pretty important to me. So I do want to give this some special attention. So anyway, those are my 22 things for 2022. They're kind of goals in a way. I do have 4 areas that I'm doing goals in. This is recommended by Elena from the Organized Money, to pick 4 life areas to do goals in. So I chose spiritual, marriage, personal, and health. For my spiritual, I want to read and write daily. That would be probably my inspirational readings, and my journals that I use in my horizontal planner in here, and to meditate 15 minutes a day. This might be difficult to do at first. I may have to kind of work my way up to do it a full 15 minutes, but I would like to get to that 15 minutes. That would be great. And then for my marriage, weekly dates out with my husband and regular calls with my family. This is already covered on the other one. Personal, read 24 books this year. Plan time for fun. I think that's an important one. Sometimes life gets so busy that we just don't do it. And then complete 4 classes. So I'm registered for 2 classes this semester and 2 classes, and I'll be doing 2 classes next semester. Probably doing 2 classes a semester until until my degree is done. I'm getting a bachelor's in organizational management. So I've got a little ways to go. I probably will be done in hopefully 2 years. If I can do 2 courses at a time, I think that's about how long it'll take. And then finally, my health. I want to eat well, go to the fitness studio twice a week, walk the 22 minutes a day. And this one, which is the bane of my existence, is drink more water. I don't really do this very well because of my job. There's just so much going on that I get so involved with taking care of my patients that I forget to do this, but I've got to figure out a way to start doing this better. So if you guys have any suggestions on how I can drink water better, put them in the comments below. I'd appreciate it. And that's it. Thank you very much for joining me for this video. Let me know in the comments what kind of goals that you have for 2022. And I hope to see you in the next video. Take care.